If you are hearing these words right now, it is not by accident, and it is not by coincidence. There are moments when God interrupts the noise of life to speak directly to the heart, and this is one of those moments. You may be tired from carrying hope for so long. You may be weary from praying the same prayer with tears in your eyes and faith in your hands. You may have smiled in public while privately wondering how much longer you can stand. Yet even here, even now, heaven is paying close attention to you. There is a sacred tension in this season you are in. The tension between what you see and what you believe, between what has delayed and what has been promised. You have done what you know to do. You trusted when it was hard. You obeyed when it cost you. You waited when everything in you wanted to move. And still, the silence felt loud. But silence has never meant absence. It has always meant preparation. The same God who allowed the waiting is the God who is orchestrating the breakthrough. This message is for the heart that has almost given up but didn't, for the faith that has been bruised but not broken, for the soul that kept showing up to God even when answers didn't come quickly. Scripture reminds us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and that He saves those who are crushed in spirit. God has seen every tear you wiped away in secret, every prayer you whispered when words failed, every moment you chose faith over fear. What you are about to hear is not hype, and it is not false comfort. It is a reminder that God's timing is intentional. His methods are precise, and His victories are never ordinary. When God moves, He does not move halfway. He redeems fully, restores completely, and surprises powerfully. So take a breath, quiet your heart, and allow your spirit to listen, because the God who carried you through the struggle is now preparing to reveal the victory, and it will come in a way that only He could have written. If you are seeing this, understand first that it is not by accident, nor is it coincidence, nor is it the result of random hope. This message comes to you at a divine intersection where heaven's timing meets your readiness. There are seasons in life where waiting feels endless, where battles seem relentless, where doors appear closed despite fervent prayer. And yet, there is a moment approaching, an unexpected, undeniable, and surprising victory that God Himself has already orchestrated on your behalf. Victory is not something you conjure with effort alone. It is something God produces when your faith lines up with His timing. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. And this victory you are about to receive, though it may defy logic, reason, and expectation, is exactly the manifestation of that divine wisdom." Many of you have walked through valleys of disappointment. Perhaps you have prayed, fasted, and pleaded, yet the situation only worsened. Perhaps betrayal pierced your heart and darkness threatened to overwhelm you. Perhaps doors you expected to open remained tightly shut. You began to wonder if God had forgotten you. But let me tell you this, He has not. God's victories often arrive quietly, in ways that initially feel unrecognizable. The Israelites spent 40 years in the wilderness, wandering, tested and refined, yet every step, every hardship was producing readiness for the promised land. Numbers 14:33-34 says, "Your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years and bear your unfaithfulness." Sometimes victory is delayed, not to punish us, but to prepare us. You are being prepared for something bigger than you imagine. Sometimes God gives victories in ways that surprise even those who have prayed faithfully. The key is understanding that He often works in hidden ways before revealing the result. Joseph in Genesis 5:20 is a perfect example. "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." The delay, the betrayal, the prison, the years of silence, all of them were the preparation for a victory so complete, so unexpected, that it could only come through divine orchestration. Your story is not yet complete, and what seems like stagnation may be the very stage for your breakthrough. Your victory is not simply for your benefit. God is never selfish with His miracles. Every triumph He gives produces testimony, influence, and transformation beyond the immediate sphere. Esther's courage in stepping into the king's court saved not only her people, but left a legacy of faith for generations. Similarly, your upcoming victory will ripple beyond what you can see. It will affect those you love, those who follow you, and those who are quietly watching from the sidelines, inspired by your persistence. Victory produces influence, and influence produces a platform for God's glory. You must understand the spiritual dimension of this season. Your battle has never been only about the natural. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places." What you have endured, disappointments, betrayals, delays, has been a spiritual test. The enemy does not confront you randomly. He attacks what threatens his plan. Your breakthrough threatens stagnation, despair, and fear. That is why it comes with pressure, opposition, and trials. But remember, God allows opposition not to defeat you, but to fortify your faith. Trials are proving grounds for victory. You may feel exhausted. You may feel like giving up. You may wonder if your persistence matters. Listen closely. The very fact that you are still standing, still hoping, still trusting is proof of preparation. Romans 5:3-4 says, "We also glory in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Your endurance is evidence that your victory is imminent. God is not testing you to defeat you. He is testing you to develop you. Every tear you have shed, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered in the dark, all of them have been fuel for the moment you will see His hand move on your behalf. You are entering a season where the impossible begins to become possible. Think of David. He was a shepherd, overlooked, underestimated, and ridiculed, yet he became a king. Think of Gideon. He was few in number, weak in perception, yet with God he routed armies that were far greater. Your victory will arrive in a way that cannot be explained by human reasoning, and that is the beauty of God's intervention. Miracles do not obey logic, they obey God. Psalm 7:14 says, "You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your strength among the peoples. Your strength is not in your effort, it is in His power being released." The enemy will try to discourage you. He will attempt to make your waiting feel like abandonment. He will whisper lies that you are forgotten, that your prayers are unnoticed, that your effort has been wasted. Resist these lies. James 4:7 says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." The victory is already in place, but your faith is the conduit through which it flows. When you continue to believe, continue to obey, and continue to hope, you activate the manifestation of God's promise. You must also recognize the importance of gratitude in this season. Gratitude is not only a response to blessing, it is a catalyst for breakthrough. When you give thanks in advance for victory, you declare trust in God's timing and sovereignty. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." Even when the situation seems bleak, gratitude aligns your heart with heaven and positions you to receive what God has already prepared. Your victory may surprise you, but your faith and thanksgiving prepare you to recognize it. You are also learning patience. Patience is not passive, it is active trust. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. It means aligning your actions with God's timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." Your breakthrough will arrive in the right season. Not before, not after, but precisely when heaven decrees. If it arrives earlier, you would not be ready. If it arrives later, God's plan W would be compromised. Timing matters, and your readiness ensures the full impact of this victory. Sometimes God's victories are subtle. They do not always come with fireworks, loud celebrations, or public acknowledgement. Some victories begin as internal changes. Peace where there was anxiety, clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was weakness. These internal shifts prepare you for external manifestation. You may not see the full scope yet, but trust that what is forming in the unseen will explode into the natural at the appointed time. Luke 8:17 says, For nothing is secret that will not be revealed, nor anything hidden that will not be known and come to light. Your victory is hidden now, but it will be revealed. You have probably experienced moments of doubt. Perhaps people have mocked your hope, questioned your persistence, or underestimated your faith. Do not be discouraged. The same God who raised Lazarus from the dead after 4 days in the tomb, John 11:39-44, is the one orchestrating your breakthrough. Time does not limit God. It prepares revelation. Delay is not denial. It is incubation. What God is growing in you cannot be rushed, replicated, or replaced. It is unique, intentional, and divinely timed. There is a spiritual dimension to your victory that transcends your understanding. It is not just about circumstances changing. It is about destiny being affirmed. When Joseph received Pharaoh's recognition, it was not merely personal elevation. It was fulfillment of divine purpose that affected nations. Your breakthrough is not simply for comfort. It is for testimony, influence, and expansion. Psalm 26 says, "Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand." You are his anointed, and the strength of his right hand is moving on your behalf. You are about to experience alignment of resources, people, opportunities, and divine favor that may seem improbable. Doors will open that you did not anticipate. Solutions will appear that you did not foresee, and obstacles that seemed insurmountable will crumble. Exodus 14:21-22 reminds us how God parted the Red Sea for his people. When there was no natural solution, God provided a supernatural one. Your situation too will experience God's miraculous intervention. What seems impossible to man is always possible with God, Matthew 19:26. You must remain alert to God's leading. Often victory requires active participation. God provides the way, but he asks for obedience. It is not enough to wait passively. You must continue to walk, continue to prepare, and continue to position yourself. Joshua was commanded to march around Jericho before the walls fell. Joshua 6:3-5. Action aligned with divine instruction precipitated the miracle. Your readiness matters. Your steps matter. Your faith matters. You are learning the importance of faith-filled declaration. Speak life over your circumstances. Declare God's promises over your situation. Speak victory as if it has already arrived. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." When you release faith-filled words, you activate the invisible, and the invisible becomes visible. Your testimony begins before the manifestation. Speaking in alignment with God accelerates your breakthrough. Even now, unseen forces are at work. Angels are dispatched to prepare your environment, to clear paths, to influence situations in your favor. Psalm 9:111 says, "For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." Heaven is aligning the pieces. Your task is to continue to trust, continue to hope, and continue to obey. Your patience is the hinge on which your victory swings. The enemy may attempt to counterfeit your breakthrough, to introduce distractions, delays, and discouragements. But he is powerless to stop what God has decreed. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? Your victory is secured. Your timing is divinely orchestrated. Your enemy's opposition only serves to highlight the significance of the triumph when it comes. You are learning that God's victories often arrive in unexpected ways. They do not always match your plan, your timing, or your imagination, but they are always perfect. Ecclesiastes 7:8 says, "The end of a matter is better than its beginning." What you are about to receive will surpass all you have hoped for, all you have dreamed of, and all you have worked for. Surprise is a hallmark of God's intervention, so that glory belongs to Him, not to human effort. Your heart may be weary, your spirit may be tired, but take courage. The very fact that you are reading or hearing this message is divine confirmation. God is speaking to you directly, saying, do not give up. The victory is near. He sees every tear, hears every cry, and remembers every prayer. Psalm 34:17-19 says, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. You may not understand the mechanism, the timing, or the method, but you can trust the one who orchestrates it all. Victory is coming, and it will arrive in a way that exceeds expectation. Prepare your heart to receive it. Prepare your mind to recognize it. Prepare your soul to steward it wisely. It will not be wasted. It will not be overlooked. It will not be misunderstood. What God is preparing for you is specific, intentional, and irreversible. The surprise of this victory lies in its timing, in its scale, and in its impact. You may have prayed for something small, something ordinary, something predictable, but God does not operate in predictability. He operates in the extraordinary. The same God who caused the widow's oil to multiply, the same God who provided manna in the wilderness, the same God who gave David victory over Goliath is the God orchestrating your breakthrough now. He specializes in the improbable, the impossible, and the unexpected. Your testimony will begin before the victory manifests fully. Every act of faith, every moment of endurance, every decision to keep trusting contributes to the story. Luke 18:1-8 reminds us of the persistent widow who refused to give up and received justice because of her perseverance. Your persistence is the trigger that aligns heaven with earth for your victory. This season is producing more than just a single triumph. It is producing character, spiritual authority, insight, and discernment. The breakthrough is not simply a resolution of circumstances. It is a refinement of the person God is making you to be. Your victory is transformative. It will equip you for greater battles, larger assignments, and more significant responsibilities. God's victories always multiply. They do not end with relief. They expand into influence. Every person watching, listening, or reading this message is standing on the threshold of something miraculous. The key is preparation, spiritual, mental, and emotional. Guard your heart from discouragement. Guard your mind from fear. Guard your spirit from distraction. Colossians 3:2 instructs, set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. Heaven prepares, and your alignment ensures reception. Your victory will involve divine strategy. God is moving people, opportunities, resources, and timing in perfect coordination. What you see naturally may look unconnected, confusing, or delayed, but the supernatural sees the whole picture. Proverbs 16:9 says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Trust the unseen orchestration. You are about to experience alignment of multiple forces in your favor. Situations that seemed impossible will suddenly collapse in your favor. Relationships that seemed broken will find restoration. Opportunities that seemed closed will swing wide open. God specializes in the unexpected, and His surprises are always perfect, precise, and powerful. Even now, as this message reaches you, the spiritual atmosphere around your life is changing. Heaven is moving to shift your circumstances. Psalm 68:1 says, let God arise, let His enemies be scattered, let those who hate Him flee before Him. Your enemies, seen or unseen, cannot withstand the divine orchestration that is coming. The forces that seemed aligned against you are being repositioned to produce your testimony. This breakthrough will not be for vanity. It will not glorify human effort. It will glorify God. Every victory in the Bible, from Gideon to David to Daniel, was crafted to demonstrate the power, wisdom, and faithfulness of God. Your victory is no different. It will be a living testimony to those around you, an encouragement to the weary, a demonstration that God remains faithful, even when circumstances say otherwise. You are not too late. You are not too weak. You are not too ordinary. God's victories are never dependent on human limitations. They are dependent on divine power, divine timing, and divine alignment. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Your victory does not rely on your ability. It relies on God's power operating through your obedience. You must recognize that surprises in God's plan often come when you least expect them. Abraham laughed at the promise of a child in his old age, but God's timing produced Isaac, a miracle that defied expectation. Sarah's laughter became a testimony. Similarly, your upcoming victory will defy expectation, and it will provoke awe, gratitude, and worship, even in the waiting, even in the struggle, even when patience seems impossible. Understand that this is the stage for your testimony. Your faithfulness in this season determines the magnitude of the manifestation. You are being trained in endurance, gratitude, obedience, and trust, all of which multiply the impact of the victory when it arrives. You are about to see open doors, divine connections, favor, and provision all align in ways you never imagined. What seemed impossible will suddenly become inevitable. What seemed delayed will suddenly appear timely. What seemed impossible to man will be undeniable in the spiritual realm. God's hand is moving, and your part is to trust, to align, and to stand ready to receive. Your breakthrough may surprise friends, family, and even yourself. It may defy conventional logic, disrupt plans, and challenge human understanding. That is the hallmark of God's miraculous intervention. Psalm 45 says, "Many, O Lord my God, are your wonderful works which you have done. Your thoughts toward us cannot be recounted to you in order. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Your victory will be one of these wonderful works." Even if your breakthrough comes quietly at first, do not dismiss it. Often God's victories begin subtly. An unexpected message, a sudden opportunity, a shift in perspective, and then expand rapidly into visible triumph. Matthew 13:31-32 compares the kingdom of God to a mustard seed, small at first, but growing into a great tree. Your victory may begin like a seed, but it will grow beyond your expectation. Your heart must remain anchored in hope. Romans 12:12 says, "Rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer." Your victory is coming, but your awareness, your alignment, and your preparation ensure that you recognize it and steward it wisely. God does not waste preparation. He does not waste faith. He does not waste obedience. You may be tempted to take matters into your own hands. Resist that temptation. The moment you try to manipulate timing or force outcomes, you step out of divine alignment. Trust is the conduit for supernatural intervention. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." Your breakthrough requires trust more than effort. Even now, forces are shifting. What was once stagnant is moving. What was once closed is opening. What was once confusing is clarifying. Heaven is orchestrating situations in ways you cannot yet see, but you will experience fully. Your breakthrough is not just coming. It is being arranged, refined, and executed as we speak. You are not alone in this process. Angels are assigned, resources are being aligned, and God himself is directing each step. Psalm 9:111 reminds us, "For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." Heaven is actively participating in this upcoming triumph. Your victory will impact more than just your life. It will inspire others, strengthen the faith of those watching, and glorify God. Every trial you endured, every prayer you offered, every tear you shed is preparing a testimony that will resonate beyond your own experience. Revelation 12:11 says, "They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Your testimony is part of your victory. Your breakthrough will also reveal God's faithfulness to those who have doubted, both within and outside of your sphere. When your situation turns, when the impossible becomes possible, when obstacles crumble, and when divine favor appears, people will see God's hand clearly. Your story will remind others that God is not distant, that he is active, and that he honors faith, patience, and persistence. Your life will become a living testimony that encourages the weary, strengthens the faint-hearted, and challenges the cynical. The world may have written you off, the enemy may have attempted to define your outcome, but God has already scripted a conclusion filled with triumph. Remember how David's life seemed precarious as a shepherd facing lions, bears, and the giant Goliath. To the world, victory seemed improbable, yet faith in God's power turned him into a king, a symbol of divine intervention and courage. Similarly, your victory is being carefully orchestrated to reflect God's glory, not human effort. You may wonder why it has taken so long for this breakthrough to arrive. Consider Joseph, who endured years of betrayal, false accusation, and imprisonment. Each delay, each trial, each heartache was preparing him for a position of authority that would not only save his family, but also a nation. Genesis 4:1-41 says, Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Your trials are not signs of God's absence. They are the invisible scaffolding for a visible triumph. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every moment of perseverance is a thread woven into the fabric of your victory. Do not underestimate the spiritual battles surrounding your breakthrough. You are not merely contending with physical or natural obstacles, you are contending with spiritual forces that oppose God's plans. Ephesians 6:11 exhorts us, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Your victory will require spiritual discipline, prayer, fasting, faith, and obedience. Each act of submission to God strengthens your position, activates unseen forces, and moves heaven to intervene on your behalf. You are being prepared not just to receive victory, but to steward it responsibly. Proverbs 4:7 reminds us, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." God's victories are not meant to inflate pride or self-glory. They are intended to produce discernment, character, and the capacity to lead with righteousness. If you fail to steward what God gives, it can be misused, but if you respond with humility, obedience, and gratitude, your triumph will multiply exponentially. The impact of your victory will extend far beyond your own life, touching those around you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Even now, as you prepare to receive, God is aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in a way that defies human understanding. Like the parting of the Red Sea for Moses and the Israelites, Exodus 14:21-22, God's intervention often defies logic, eliminates obstacles, and produces results that only heaven can orchestrate. This breakthrough will not come by coincidence or by human manipulation. It will come by divine design. Every door that opens, every opportunity that aligns, every favor that appears is carefully arranged by the hand of God to manifest His plan for your life. Do not allow discouragement to cloud your expectation. The enemy may attempt to instill fear, doubt, and impatience, hoping that you will give up before your miracle arrives, but faith refuses to quit. Hebrews 10:36 reminds us, "For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you may receive the promise." Patience is not passive. It is an active waiting with expectation. Your active trust in God's timing amplifies the power of His intervention. Your breakthrough may come in forms that surprise you. Perhaps it will be a sudden financial provision when resources were depleted. Perhaps it will be restoration in relationships that seem beyond repair. Perhaps it will be recognition, favor, or opportunity that appears suddenly, reversing situations that had seemed permanent. God's surprises are always perfect, precisely timed, and deliberately designed to glorify Him. They remind us that heaven operates on principles far beyond human reasoning. What seems impossible in the natural becomes inevitable through divine orchestration. The element of surprise in God's victories is not merely to astonish, but to underscore His sovereignty and creativity. In 1 Corinthians 1:27, it says, "God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty." You may feel inadequate, unprepared, or overwhelmed, yet God's power manifests most vividly through His chosen vessels precisely when they are least expecting it. Your victory will silence doubt, inspire faith, and confirm God's faithfulness. You are entering a season where persistence intersects with divine favor. Daniel's unwavering prayer life, Esther's courageous advocacy, and Hannah's fervent petitions all demonstrate the principle that sustained faith produces results that cannot be ignored. Even when the natural seems dormant, the spiritual is active. Luke 18:1-8 illustrates the persistent widow who received justice because she refused to quit. Similarly, your consistent faith, even in the face of opposition, sets the stage for your miraculous outcome. Your victory will also serve as a testimony to those who may have walked alongside you in doubt or skepticism. The same God who delivers the faithful delivers them in a way that leaves no question of his involvement. Psalm 45 declares, "Many, O Lord my God, are your wonderful works which you have done. Your thoughts toward us cannot be recounted to you in order. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered." Your story will become one of these wonderful works, a living declaration of God's faithfulness. Do not underestimate the role of gratitude in this season. Gratitude aligns your heart with heaven and opens doors for supernatural favor. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." Giving thanks in advance, praising God before you see the results, and acknowledging his hand in your preparation activates the manifestation of your victory. Faith and gratitude together form a magnetic force that draws God's promises into tangible reality. Your breakthrough may also serve as a catalyst for others. Just as Joseph's victory preserved nations, your triumph will influence families, communities, and even strangers in ways you cannot yet perceive. Victory is never solely for personal benefit. It is always designed to expand the kingdom of God, to reveal his glory, and to inspire faith in those who witness it. Psalm 6:8-11 says, "The Lord gave the word, great was the company of those that published it." Your testimony will carry power, encouragement, and hope to many. You may feel unqualified to receive such a victory, but remember that God specializes in using ordinary vessels for extraordinary outcomes. Moses doubted his ability to lead the Israelites. Gideon questioned his capacity to overcome the Midianites. And David was overlooked as a shepherd boy. Yet God's strength was made perfect in their weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Your inadequacy is not a limitation. It is an invitation for God's power to shine through you. Even now, unseen spiritual forces are at work. Angels are dispatched to align situations, to protect you, and to position resources for your benefit. Psalm 9:111 reminds us, "For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." These forces operate in the unseen realm, moving pieces into place so that when the breakthrough arrives, it will be undeniable, overwhelming, and glorifying to God. Do not allow fear to overshadow your expectation. Fear attempts to steal the confidence and anticipation that are essential for receiving miracles. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Courage and faith are the channels through which divine favor flows. The moment you walk in bold expectation, God's timing intersects with your faith, producing a victory that is not only surprising but transformative. Your breakthrough may defy human logic, social expectation, or personal planning, but that is the hallmark of God's miraculous intervention. The Red Sea parted for Moses, the sun stood still for Joshua, and the blind received sight by the touch of Jesus. Similarly, your victory will defy conventional reasoning and highlight the undeniable reality of God's sovereignty. Your faith is the conduit. His power is the executioner. What seems impossible now is simply waiting for divine activation. You may have been tempted to give up, to compromise, to take shortcuts, or to settle for less. But your faith has kept you anchored. Your persistence has kept you aligned, and your obedience has kept you connected to the source of all supernatural favor. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." The phrase due season is deliberate. God's timing is always perfect. Your breakthrough is not arriving too late. It is arriving at the precise moment when preparation, persistence, and purpose intersect. This victory will reveal God's faithfulness in ways that are unmistakable. People who doubted, mocked, or questioned you will witness the hand of God moving powerfully in your life. What the enemy intended for harm will turn into good. Genesis 5:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Your trials were not in vain. They were the very instruments through which God prepared this surprise triumph. You are entering a season where alignment, favor, and divine orchestration converge. Doors will open that you thought were permanently closed. Resources will appear where scarcity once existed. Relationships will be restored where brokenness once dominated. God specializes in the improbable, the unexpected, and the impossible. Your breakthrough will arrive in a manner that defies human reasoning, yet confirms the reality of God's intervention. Matthew 19:26 reminds us, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Your situation, no matter how hopeless it may seem in the natural, is entirely possible in the supernatural. Your heart must remain in a posture of expectation. Expectation is the atmosphere through which God's power flows. When faith aligns with expectation, heaven begins to move. Luke 1:45 illustrates this principle when Elizabeth says to Mary, "Blessed is she who believed, for there will be a fulfillment of those things which were told her from the Lord." Faith-filled expectation is the channel through which God delivers the unexpected. You may not yet see the manifestation, but your expectation positions you to recognize, receive, and steward it when it arrives. Do not despise small beginnings. Many of God's victories start subtly before exploding into fullness. Joseph's provision for Egypt began with a single interpretation of dreams. The Israelites' conquest began with steps around Jericho. The mustard seed grows quietly before it becomes a large tree. Similarly, your breakthrough may begin in a small, almost unnoticed way, but it will expand into something unmistakable. Be alert to subtle shifts in opportunities, relationships, and favor. They are often the prelude to the full manifestation of God's hand. You are being prepared to recognize divine orchestration. Even when circumstances appear random or confusing, God is arranging everything in perfect order. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." You may plan, strategize, and anticipate, but God is the one who ensures that your steps align with His divine purpose. Your responsibility is obedience, your faithfulness, and your attentiveness. God handles the arrangement. You participate through alignment. This victory will be holistic. It is not merely a win in one area of life, but a divine rearrangement that brings blessing, restoration, ND advancement across multiple fronts. Health, wealth, relationships, spiritual authority, influence. God's favor operates in layers. Psalm 23 illustrates this multidimensional provision. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Your victory encompasses restoration, direction, and protection. Even when opposition arises, it will serve to magnify your testimony. The enemy will attempt to block, delay, and confuse, but God's power surpasses every obstacle. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? Your breakthrough cannot be prevented because it is divine in origin. Every obstacle is an opportunity for God's power to be revealed more dramatically. The very thing the enemy uses to intimidate you will ultimately testify to the magnitude of God's intervention. You are learning the importance of prayer and intimacy with God in this season. Prayer is not merely a tool, it is the channel through which divine strategy flows. Persistent, faith-filled prayer positions you in alignment with God's will. Daniel's life demonstrates this principle. Consistent, disciplined prayer opened the door for supernatural favor and protection, even in the midst of opposition. Daniel 6:10-23. Your prayers now are not just for requests, they are for positioning, alignment, and preparation to receive what God has already decreed. Gratitude is also essential. Gratitude in advance of the breakthrough shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith. Philippians 4:6-7 instructs, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication. With thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Thanksgiving unlocks peace, and peace is the environment in which miracles are received. You are being tested in ways that refine character and prepare you to steward divine favor. Integrity under pressure, patience under delay, faith under doubt. These qualities ensure that when the breakthrough arrives, it will be received with humility, wisdom, and gratitude. God does not hand over triumph to those who are unprepared. He refines vessels so that victories multiply, impact others, and glorify His name. Even now, unseen spiritual forces are at work to align circumstances for your benefit. Psalm 1:20-21 says, "Bless the Lord, you His angels, who excel in strength, who do His word, heeding the voice of His word." Angels are at work, moving obstacles, creating opportunities, and orchestrating alignment so that your breakthrough is both surprising and inevitable. You are not passive. You are the steward of a process that heaven itself has initiated. You may have prayed for months, years, or even decades, and it may seem as though nothing has changed. Yet God's perspective is eternal, and His timing is perfect. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. What appears delayed is only being perfected. Your victory is being timed for maximum impact, maximum glory, and maximum testimony." This breakthrough will inspire faith in others. Your testimony will serve as evidence of God's faithfulness, encouraging the weary, strengthening the faint-hearted, and provoking awe in those who witness it. Revelation 12:11 reminds us, "They overcame Him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Your story is becoming one of these testimonies, and it will bring glory to God while encouraging countless others to remain faithful. You are entering a season where divine favor intersects with your obedience, patience, and expectation. Opportunities you never anticipated will emerge. Resources you thought impossible will become available. Relationships will align perfectly to support your destiny. This is how God's surprises operate, through alignment, timing, and divine orchestration. Your faith, obedience, and gratitude are the keys to unlocking what heaven has prepared. Even when the victory begins in small, subtle ways, recognize it and act upon it. The smallest steps of obedience in the presence of divine orchestration yield the largest manifestations. Luke 16:10 says, "He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much." Your vigilance, attentiveness, and discernment will ensure that no opportunity is overlooked. Your breakthrough may arrive in ways that challenge your expectations. It may defy your logic, your timing, and your imagination. This is intentional, for God's victories are designed to glorify Him, demonstrate His power, and confirm His faithfulness. Psalm 7:14 says, "You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your strength among the peoples." Your surprise victory will testify to this very principle. You are being positioned not only to receive, but to sustain, steward, and multiply this victory. Wisdom, discernment, humility, and gratitude are essential in managing what God entrusts to you. Proverbs 3:13-14 reminds us, "Happy is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold." Your breakthrough will yield not only immediate relief, but long-term abundance, influence, and spiritual authority. You are learning to expect the unexpected because God specializes in surprises. He takes situations that seem hopeless and transforms them into testimonies. He turns delays into divine timing, scarcity into abundance, and despair into jubilation. Your victory will arrive in a way that leaves no doubt about the source of its power. John 10:10 says, "The thief does not come except to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and that they may have it more abundantly." Your abundant life is arriving now. in W. Ease that will exceed human expectation. Your faithfulness in this season ensures that your breakthrough will be both lasting and impactful. Temporary victories fade, but God's divine interventions produce lasting transformation. They shape character, expand influence, and glorify His name. Psalm 37:5 instructs, "Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass." Your commitment, trust, and perseverance are the instruments through which God delivers the unexpected triumph. Your victory is approaching, and it will be surprising, overwhelming, and undeniable. Heaven is orchestrating circumstances, moving hearts, and aligning resources so that the impossible becomes inevitable. Your responsibility is to remain faithful, patient, obedient, and expectant. Psalm 27:13-14 says, "I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." Even if the breakthrough begins quietly, it will expand rapidly. What begins as a subtle alignment, a faint opening, a small opportunity, will grow into full manifestation. Habakkuk 2:3 says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Your breakthrough is appointed. It will speak, it will arrive, and it will confirm God's faithfulness in ways that surpass human understanding. Your victory will not only resolve past struggles, but also prepare you for future assignments. The preparation in this season equips you to manage responsibility, influence, and impact. 2 Timothy 2:21 reminds us, "If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work." God is purging, refining, and preparing you so that your breakthrough not only glorifies Him, but also equips you to fulfill your greater purpose. You are not alone. Angels are dispatched. Heaven is moving. Spiritual forces are aligning. Resources are being arranged. Circumstances are being repositioned. Psalm 3:19 assures us, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all." Your victory is imminent because it has been orchestrated by the one who never fails, never forgets, and never delays without purpose. The key now is alignment. Continue to trust, continue to pray, continue to obey, and continue to praise. Every act of faith is a magnet that draws your victory closer. Every moment of patience strengthens your position. Every expression of gratitude opens the door for greater manifestation. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it is already on the way, crafted, refined, and guaranteed by God Himself. Heaven is moving on your behalf. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained. The delay was never denial, it was preparation. The obstacles you faced were never punishment, they were refinement. And soon, very soon, your situation will shift in a way that will astonish, overwhelm, and affirm the faithfulness of God. Your victory will arrive unexpectedly, powerfully, and gloriously, leaving no doubt that God's hand has been at work. This is the moment to remain steadfast, faithful, and expectant. Hold on to hope, nurture your faith, and guard your heart from discouragement. The victory is near, and it will come in a way that surprises you, overwhelms opposition, and testifies to the power, wisdom, and faithfulness of God. Prepare to receive, for your surprising victory is imminent, divine, and unstoppable, orchestrated by the Almighty Himself, designed for glory, and destined to transform your life and the lives of those around you. Even now, as you continue to walk in obedience, trust, and expectation, every step aligns with the divine orchestration of heaven. Every tear, every prayer, every act of perseverance is contributing to the manifestation of your breakthrough. God's timing is perfect, His plan is precise, and His power is unmatched. Your victory is not a matter of if, but of when, and that moment is approaching with divine certainty. The breakthrough you are about to receive is not merely circumstantial, it is transformational. It will change the trajectory of your life, influence those around you, and testify to the faithfulness of God in ways that cannot be ignored. It will confirm that He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8. And that no situation is too complex, no enemy too powerful, and no delay too long for His intervention. You are standing at the threshold of God's miraculous provision, divine favor, and unexpected triumph. What you see in the natural may not yet reflect what is occurring in the spiritual, but heaven is at work. Angels are assigned, doors are opening, and resources are aligning to bring about a victory that will surprise, overwhelm, and inspire. Psalm 33:10-11 says, "The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He makes the plans of the peoples of no effect." The counsel of the Lord stands forever, the plans of His heart to all generations. Your victory is the fulfillment of God's eternal counsel, arriving at the appointed time for His glory. Faithful waiting, persistent prayer, unwavering hope, and obedient action are the conduits for the arrival of this miraculous breakthrough. You have endured, persevered, and remained steadfast despite opposition, discouragement, and delay. Your persistence demonstrates your readiness to receive the unexpected, the supernatural, and the extraordinary. God's hand is moving invisibly to bring what has been promised, and every act of faith now positions you to receive it fully. The breakthrough will come not only to relieve you, but to demonstrate God's glory. It will manifest in ways that will leave no doubt about the source of the miracle. Luke 5:26 says, "And they were all amazed and glorified God and were filled with fear, saying, 'We have seen strange things today.'" Similarly, your victory will leave those around you amazed, confirming that it is God alone who delivers, redeems, and elevates. You may encounter temporary resistance, unforeseen delays, or unexpected challenges, even as your breakthrough approaches. Do not be dismayed. Each challenge is designed to refine your faith, test your readiness, and ensure that your victory is lasting and impactful. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose." Your challenges are working together with God's divine orchestra, so on to produce a victory that is beyond imagination. Your victory will arrive with elements of surprise. It may exceed your expectations, challenge your assumptions, and confound those who doubted. What the enemy intended for harm will become your testimony. What seemed impossible will become your reality, and what was delayed will arrive in perfect timing. Psalm 43 says, "He has put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see it and fear, and will trust in the Lord." Your victory will inspire, uplift, and glorify God in ways that cannot be contained. You are learning to recognize divine orchestration in seemingly ordinary moments. Every unexpected opportunity, every chance encounter, and every subtle shift is part of the preparation for your victory. God's hand is in the details, orchestrating outcomes in ways that human eyes cannot yet see. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths." Trust ensures that you walk in alignment with heaven's plan and are ready to receive the miraculous. Your heart must remain anchored in expectation, your faith steadfast, and your spirit alert. The breakthrough is coming, and it will arrive in a manner that reflects God's wisdom, power, and glory. It is not merely a resolution to your challenges, it is a divine affirmation of your faith, obedience, and persistence. Your victory will inspire, encourage, and transform. It will serve as a testimony to God's unchanging faithfulness and a reminder that those who trust Him will never be forsaken. Even now, heaven is preparing the circumstances, aligning the resources, and positioning the people necessary for this breakthrough to manifest. Every prayer, every act of faith, and every moment of perseverance contributes to the arrival of this divine triumph. Psalm 37:23-24 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with His hand. You are not falling. You are being elevated, guided, and prepared for a victory that will exceed every expectation. This is a moment of divine alignment, a season of supernatural favor, and a time of unexpected triumph. Your breakthrough is imminent. Stand firm in faith, remain steadfast in obedience, and maintain a heart of gratitude. Your victory will arrive. It will surprise you. It will glorify God, and it will confirm that He is faithful to His promises. The enemy cannot stop it, circumstances cannot delay it, and doubt cannot nullify it. What God has promised, He is fully capable of delivering, and your time is now. Your breakthrough will impact not only your life, but the lives of those around you. It will serve as a testimony, an encouragement, and a beacon of hope. It will demonstrate that God's power is real, His timing is perfect, and His faithfulness is unwavering. Your victory will inspire others to trust Him. Persist in faith and hope against hope, knowing that the same God who orchestrated your triumph is capable of doing the same in their lives. Even in the waiting, in the struggle, and in the uncertainty, remain confident. Your breakthrough is already in motion. The same God who brought miracles. Consider the patience required by Abraham as he waited decades for the promise of Isaac. Consider Joseph's resilience as he endured betrayal, false accusations, and imprisonment before rising to prominence in Egypt. Consider Hannah's faithfulness as she poured out her heart in prayer over years before Samuel was born. All of these examples reveal a profound principle. The breakthrough you are awaiting may take time, but it is meticulously prepared, divinely orchestrated, and irrevocably guaranteed. Romans 8:28 reminds us again that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose. Even when life appears stagnant, when doors remain closed, or when your heart is heavy with anticipation, God is working behind the scenes. Just as the Israelites prepared for the promised land through wandering in the wilderness, you are being prepared for your divine inheritance. Every trial, every challenge, every moment of waiting is a step in spiritual maturation and a calibration of faith. Your victory is not merely about circumstances changing, it is about your soul being aligned with God's purpose, prepared to carry the victory in a way that glorifies Him. You may feel weary, you may feel frustrated, you may even question whether your prayers have been heard, but Psalm 34:17-18 offers comfort. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Your cries have been heard. Your tears have been counted. Your struggles are not unnoticed. God's timing ensures that when your victory arrives, it will be unmistakable, undeniable, and extraordinary. Do not allow the enemy to deceive you with impatience or despair. He may try to convince you that your breakthrough is delayed, that your prayers are unanswered, or that your efforts are in vain. Remember that his purpose is to discourage you, to instill fear, and to divert your faith. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that we are not fighting merely against visible obstacles, but against spiritual forces of darkness. These forces are real, but they are not stronger than the God who is moving on your behalf. Stand firm, trust God, expect the unexpected. The nature of God's victories is often surprising because they defy human logic. Gideon defeated the Midianite army with only 300 men. David overcame Goliath with a sling and a stone. The widow's oil multiplied beyond measure. God specializes in the improbable, the unexpected, and the miraculous. Your victory will arrive in a way that is unconventional, undeniable, and unmistakably divine. It will leave observers in awe and cause the enemy to be confounded. Isaiah 4:19 says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Your breakthrough will be that new thing. Faith is your conduit for this divine intervention. Faith is not passive, it is active. It requires perseverance, expectation, and trust. James 1:3-4 says, "Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." Your faith has been tested. your patience refined, and your character strengthened. Now it is poised to produce a breakthrough that not only resolves your circumstances, but also glorifies God. Your breakthrough will be multidimensional. It will touch your finances, your relationships, your spiritual life, and your influence. God's provision is never limited to a single aspect of life. It flows holistically. Psalm 23 illustrates this. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. Your victory is comprehensive. It restores, strengthens, provides, and positions you for greater impact. Even subtle signs are part of God's orchestration. Opportunities, coincidences, divine appointments, and unexpected encounters are often the precursors of the full manifestation of victory. Proverbs 16:9 says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Every person you meet, every door that opens, every piece of information you receive is being divinely arranged to lead you to your breakthrough. Remain alert, discern, and obedient. Gratitude in advance positions you to receive your breakthrough fully. Thanksgiving is not only a response to blessing, it is an activation of faith. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Gratitude aligns your spirit with heaven, creates an atmosphere for miracles, and opens the channels for divine favor. By expressing thanks before you see the full manifestation, you are declaring faith in God's promises and readiness to receive. Your breakthrough is not only personal, it will affect others. Just as Joseph's rise saved Egypt and preserved generations, your triumph will create impact far beyond yourself. It will inspire faith, restore hope, and demonstrate God's power to those around you. Revelation 12:11 declares, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Your testimony is becoming part of this victory, and it will serve as a beacon of hope to others facing their own battles. Even in the waiting, remain steadfast. Every trial, every delay, every obstacle is part of the preparation. Romans 5:3-5 reminds us, we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. Now hope does not disappoint. Your endurance in this season is producing hope that will sustain you and others for years to come. Your breakthrough will surprise you, challenge expectations, and demonstrate the limitless power of God. Matthew 19:26 says, with God all things are possible. The impossible circumstances, the closed doors, the blocked paths, and the overwhelming opposition are all temporary barriers that God will remove in His timing. What seems hopeless now will soon be celebrated, praised, and recognized as divinely orchestrated. You are learning the importance of obedience. God's intervention often requires action on your part. The Israelites marched around Jericho before the walls fell, Joshua 6. Daniel prayed consistently despite the threat of the lion's den, Daniel 6. Your obedience, faithfulness, and readiness are integral to the full manifestation of the breakthrough that is already on its way. Even the smallest acts of faith contribute to your ultimate victory. Luke 16:10 says, he who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Every act of trust, every word of prayer, every decision to continue waiting with hope is significant. These small acts of faith amplify the power of God in your life and prepare you for the grandeur of the unexpected triumph. Your breakthrough will validate your faith, silence doubt, and glorify God. It will demonstrate that divine timing is perfect, that God's methods surpass human understanding, and that His promises are always true. Isaiah 25:1 says, O Lord, you are my God, I will exalt you, I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things. Your victory will be one of these wonderful things, unmistakably divine and unquestionably orchestrated by heaven. Beloved, let this truth settle deep within your spirit. The victory you have been believing for is not a distant possibility. It is a divinely appointed reality. God has never lost control of your story, not even for a moment. Every delay refined you, every trial strengthened you, and every unanswered question positioned you for a manifestation that could only come from Him. What you are about to experience will not merely change your circumstances, it will confirm your faith, silence your doubts, and glorify God in undeniable ways. As you move forward, carry this victory with humility, gratitude, and obedience. Remember that the same God who brought you through the valley is the one who sets the table before you in the presence of your enemies. Stay anchored in His Word, led by His Spirit, and grounded in prayer. Do not rush ahead of Him, and do not look back at what He has already redeemed. Walk boldly, trusting that what He has started, He is faithful to complete. Your life is becoming a testimony of divine faithfulness, a living reminder that God still intervenes, still restores, and still surprises His people with goodness beyond expectation. Stand ready, stay faithful, and keep your heart open, because when God releases a victory, it comes full, it comes lasting, and it comes for His glory. And when it arrives, you will know without question this was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in your eyes.